So let's dive in a bit further into how we actually define elopements, intimate weddings, and I guess traditional weddings. So a true elopement would just be the couple. And normally, I guess, technically the definition would be that you're going somewhere. But I have had plenty of couples who live in New York City and who are eloping in New York City. So it's not the sort of old rules of like running away don't apply. But I have had plenty of couples who are quote unquote kind of running away from maybe the UK or something. And that's part of the sort of the dream, right? That's part of what they want and they don't tell anybody. Anyway, so that is a true elopement. So two people. I consider an intimate wedding to be pretty much anything beyond that that's under about 25 people. So, of course, you can also have a bit of an elopement part of the day and then meet up with friends and family later. I'd still kind of call that an intimate wedding, but a lot of times for me, the pricing works out to be the same. Anyway, so two people, elopement. Anything above two people, 10 people, up to like 25, I would consider being an intimate wedding. Once you get beyond that, you still could be an intimate wedding territory, maybe up to like 100 people. It really kind of depends. One of the ways that I help determine that, just in terms of like understanding from how I work, is that if you and your guests are going to be dining, having a reception of some kind, can you fit in a private dining room somewhere, or are you talking more like a restaurant buyout or like a wedding venue? When you're talking about that, you're getting into more of a traditional wedding. It doesn't have to be, but just from like a size perspective. So that's something to consider. Obviously, restaurants are going to vary in terms of like the amount of space they have. Some can accommodate people in different sized private rooms. Some have a max of 10. It just really depends. And obviously you have a lot of different choices in New York City and specifically when it comes to restaurants. But obviously two people can dine just about anywhere. They generally don't need a private room, although there are options for that too. Once you get beyond that, sometimes you can have dinner in a dining room, with other guests. But I certainly definitely touch on that again later. Would encourage you to look for a private dining experience just for your own, enjoyment. And then obviously you get over a certain amount of people, there's like kind of like an intermediate area where it's like, it's not quite a buyout, but it's not too big for the private room. And you really have a harder time finding those places. They do exist, but it's harder to find them, especially in certain, categories of cuisine. But a lot of times you'll end up jumping into the buyout category, which is definitely going to get more expensive. And then even getting into a full-blown wedding venue where we're talking about 100, 200 plus people. Obviously there are plenty of choices for that, in New York City. But again, we're talking primarily in this video series about our elopements and intimate weddings. So we are defining those as being, for true elopement, 2 people, intimate wedding being say up to 25 people. But again, there's not really a set, criteria for this. It's really more about figuring out all of the different elements and how that works out for you and your plans.